Jake here. Gonna do a quick tutorial for our third edition of McCoy Mondays. In this series we're focusing in on Charlie McCoy and his great playing across all the different sessions he did for the last 50 years and counting, and this one takes us to, I believe it's 1980, or in the very early 80s, and it's He Stopped Loving Her Today is the song by George Jones, and there's very little harmonica on this song. It's really just this fills on the second verse, but I have heard in an interview with Charlie that this is one of his favorite moments in his career was, as far as him being happy with what he played on a song, this is right up near the top for him. And I love it too, and we're gonna jump in and look at what's going on and why it works so well. He's playing it on a C harmonica in second position, so I've got my Hohner crossover here, and yeah, so let's jump in. The second verse starts around the 30-second mark, and oh yeah, and also there's a tab in the link below. I'll just hold it up here for a second. You can get it in the link below, or you can go to my Patreon and become a member and get access to more videos and all the tabs that you could ever want. Anyways, so yeah, so we're going to start off, and on this tab it starts in measure 2. I put that empty measure there because that's where the verse starts. That's where George starts singing, and Charlie creeps in right as he's coming out of that first part of the second verse, and it's going to scoop 3-hole draw. And Charlie's not, I hear a little bit of hand vibrato on these longer notes, but he's not overdoing it. It's not super noticeable, so I'm probably overdoing the hand vibrato as opposed to what Charlie did. But yeah, this first scoop, he kind of does a bit of a slower scoop. The beat that the tempo this is about 70 beats per minute. But these scoops, he's kind of, he's really drawing them out. They're not super fast scoops. Okay, so that second measure, after the first scoop, it does a slightly quicker scoop into that 3-draw again, and then bends down to the 3-draw bend. So that whole second measure is. Okay, and it falls off on the 2-hole draw, and on measure 3. And that's where the vocals come back in, so I don't know that Charlie holds the note out the whole time during that measure, but you can hear him definitely sort of get the tempo, or the volume is going down to get out of the way for George's singing. And that would be during that measure, it would probably be good to just stop that note and get your breath reset, because that's a long inhale leading up to that, and we got a bunch more inhales coming, so maybe sneak an exhale in that third measure there. Okay, and then measure 4 is going to start off with a scoop on the 2-draw, but it's going to be the half step in. Alright, so the 2-hole draw scoop. And then so it's very similar to what he did in measure 2. It's just going off the 2-draw, half step bend, and then it lands on 2 blow. Okay, so that's measures 4 and 5. Let's take it slowly from the top. So I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll come in on the downbeat. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's through measure 5 there, and measure 6 starts off on a 3-hole draw bend. So this really requires you to be able to hit the bend from the onset of the note, and this is going to challenge you to hit it in tune as well. And yeah, anytime you're having to sustain a bend when you're playing with a band, really needs to be in tune. And Charlie was definitely a master of bending in tune. But yeah, this will be a good test to see how your bending is going. So yeah, it starts on the whole step bend. Somewhere right around there. And then it's going to let it up. And make sure you let it all the way up into that B note, that unbent 3-hole draw. And then he does a little bit of a, then it bends back down, but he does a little kind of an ornamental flip on it. Or I'm sorry. He does. So even though on the tab you'll see it's in the final note in measure 6, it just says 3-hole whole step bend. It's really like a whole half hole. And it's not super noticeable, but if you're really paying close attention, you'll notice that he kind of flips that 3-hole draw bend a little bit there. And after that it goes 2 draw, and then it lands on the 2 draw half step bend. So this is the measures 6 and 7 are definitely the hardest part of this, because you're having to sustain these bends and sustain them in tune. So if you're working on bending in tune, this is a good one to try to learn. Okay, let's just try measures 6 and 7. So we're going to start from that 3-hole draw bend on measure 6. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, and then here's the end of it. We're measure 8. It's just going to do a 3-draw scoop. And then real quick 4-draw, 3-draw. And this is a good little country move to have here. That 4-draw, 3-draw, and then bend down the 3-draw. That draw and the bend down slowly it's got a nice twang to it. So yeah, that's measure 8. And then it falls off to measure to 2-draw on measure 9, and then the harmonica's out after that. Okay, so let's try measure 8 and 9, and then we'll play the whole thing through together, and we'll call it a day. So here's measure 8. 1, 2, here we go. Okay. And yeah, make sure you listen closely to the song, and then this will all make sense. And I guess another thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to make note of is listen to how he's swelling the volume in the measures. It seems like the volume is coming to be the loudest as it approaches beat 4 of the measure, and that really is kind of helping the motion of the song, I think. And I mean, I think if you're just feeling the music, you'll probably naturally do that, and that's probably kind of what was happening. But it's a good thing to notice his dynamics and how, because he's not doing anything. Well, I guess the point I've always wondered, because there's not much going on that's super technically difficult here, and for somebody of Charlie's playing ability to say this is his favorite thing that he played, I think he's referring to the dynamics that he used in it, how pure the tone was on these bends, and then also it's just, you know, it's almost like a motif, the way the rhythm stays the same. Like if you just look at the second measure in each line, you'll notice the rhythm is exactly the same pretty much the whole way through, with a couple little exceptions. But yeah, so I think that all together might be what he was getting at when he said this was one of his favorites. But anyways, yeah, let's play together slow, and then go listen to the recording and see what you can get out of it. Alright, here we go. I'm going to count in 4 beats, and we'll come in on the downbeat, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, there you go. Hope you enjoy the video. Come back in 2 weeks for another edition of McCoy Mondays, where we will be talking about In My Tennessee Mountain Home, the Dolly Parton tune, and the little harmonica hook that's in that song. And if you have any suggestions of songs featuring Charlie that you want to have a tutorial on, let me know, and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, and go check out my Patreon. It's linked in the comments or in the description below. And I'll see you next time. Keep on hustling.